Hello everyone, this hour on Verbling, the next in my speaking skills series. We're on class number 23 and we're working on how to tell a story, but today we'll be dealing with how to respond to a story being told, what your reaction should be. So we'll try to put together all of the skills we've learned before. If you haven't been here before, don't worry, we'll go over them and we'll learn a new set of connectors that you can use to respond to what you're hearing and sound natural. Well, that's a bit about the class. Here's a bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up. That means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Tune in to the new words that you're learning when we are speaking, when you are speaking, so I can give you feedback and correct you. Finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And that is all you need to know about me. Let me know a little bit about you. Oh, let me fix my camera there. By the way, if you didn't know I was a Verbling teacher, I've got my Verbling t-shirt on, so you can't mistake who I am. Let's say a quick hello to Maite. Is it Maite? How do I say your name? Maite?
Hello, Maite.
Maite.
Yes, that's true.
Very good. Where are you from, Maite?
From Spain.
Okay, very good. Spain's a very big country. Which part of Spain?
Extremadura.
From Extremadura.
Badajoz, near Portugal.
Badajoz, we say. Do you say Badajoz or Badajoz?
Badajoz is in Spanish.
Yeah, but which do you say? Badajoz or Badajoz?
Badajoz.
Okay. We say Badajoz over here, on the other side of the border.
Yes, in Portuguese.
That's right. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start, by the way, quick hello to Luo. Nice to see you again, Luo.
Yes, it's my pleasure to be here. Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Luo is the politest student I've ever had. So it's his pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Luo, do you remember how to tell a story?
How to tell a story?
Just say yes.
Sittings, time.
No, I just meant in general. Let's take a look. For both of you, what I mean is, when you open that link in the class material. By the way, if you don't have it, look in the chat window because I just pasted it. If you open that link in the class material, you'll see this graphic and you know you've got the right document open. And then you go down, got my contact there, and then on the next page you'll see table of contents. Anything we've done to date, I've put there under skills. You can go to the previous classes, but if we've learned, typically in this class we're learning what I call connectors, words that link together ideas. Okay, so any of those sets of connectors that we've used for a particular skill are going to be there. In class skill number 7 says how to tell a story. So let's take a look. If I click on that, let me see if I can. I'll leave it like this. If I click on that, I can see how to use sequencers first of all to begin with, then after that after, so then, at the end, finally. When I say tell a story, I don't just mean a story like a fairy tale. I mean anything that happened to you during your day, an anecdote. We tell stories constantly. Then I have parallelers, when, while, at the same time. For these, if you're using when, and you're telling a story, the phone was ringing when I came into the room. The phone was ringing when I came into the room. Came is the past. So when plus the past simple. When in this case, it would be the past simple. In other words, when you're telling a story, you use all the past tenses. While could work the same way. Let's see. While I was out shopping, the phone rang. While I was out shopping. It could work the same way, but it could also be the other way. So I'll make a note here that it's often the past continuous, but not 100% true. It depends on the context. Anyway, you're never going to be wrong if you use this as your guide. Finally, we have closers. In the last class, we learned how to summarize, how to wrap up a story early, because you could go on and on and on. But using closers, we could bring things to a close by summarizing. So in the end, so in short, so to sum up, all in all, in a nutshell. So these are some of the connector words we used with how to tell the story. And we're going to add a new set here. We're going to call, what do I want to call these? I don't know what to call these. We're going to call these use interest. Use interest, which I call them. Interesters. Doesn't make sense. Interest, say, whoops. Connectors to respond to a story. There you go. By the way, before I tell you what they are, can I get a few suggestions from all of you, maybe one per person, of some things you might say to show that you're listening, to show that you're interested in the story that's being told? Luo, what's something that people typically say when you're telling us? Really? Sounds good. And my take, can you think of something else? Let's see if we can think of three. Go ahead, Igor.
Interesting.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting or how interesting. Interesting. Sounds good. I take what you
Go on, I'm listening.
go on.
I'm listening.
I'm listening is much more specific, but go on sounds pretty good. It's not wrong, but I'm saying it's a little bit more specific. Maite, would you add anything to the list?
Of course.
Ah, of course. Okay. I've got a few others, but they're so obvious that you might not even think about these. Okay.
Great.
Great. Why not? Yes. Well, great is more specific. It's not wrong, but we need a context for it.
That's true.
Sure, not that sure, but sure.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Hmm? Really?
That's true.
Same as really.
Oh, same as
Sure.
really.
Hang on just a second. Sure. See, that's the same as really too. Let's move it up here.
Tell me more.
I want to start with just the basic ones first. But we can add more to the list later. But let's start with these basic ones. Okay, and then these two at the end. And then, like saying, and then what happened?
Mm-hmm. And then,
I don't know how to write
Really? Okay.
Let me move these over because I want to label these. So the first set, I'm going to call these interest connectors. I said. So let me just make a little note here. Interest. But the second set, there's another set here. These are, I don't know what to call these. These are called auxiliaries. Auxiliaries. These are the first verbs that you use, but they're good. Maybe I can call these question tags. I'll just call these tags. For example, you might say, did you? Have you? Are you?
Is it?
Well, but if you're telling the story, I'm going to use you. But okay, I can use is it, but if I'm telling a story, it's in the past as well. So if we're going to use it, no problem. But let's say, was it? So I agree with you, but let's go with was it? And of course, the other you is were you? So I'm just telling you this because it's nothing you don't know. So that's why I'm telling you. Otherwise, we would try to discover it through speaking. But here I can just tell you because I think you know all these. Now that you have these fresh in your memory, we got to put this to work. So what we're going to do in class number 23 is we're going to first create a simple story. For example, here's a story that we saw in a previous class. If I'm using my connectors, I might say, first, a guy went to the bank. Hopefully you can all see that. First, the guy went to the bank because he just got paid $200. After that, he spoke to the bank clerk to find out a little bit about opening a checking account. But what he didn't notice was that there was a fee if he bounced a check. Look in the background of the image. And then he went to a what do you call that? It's not we kept saying electronic shop. It's not really electronics. It could be, but it's more of a, well, whatever. He went to a TV store. He went to a department store. He saw a widescreen plasma TV. He was so excited that he wrote a check for $500, but he only had $200 deposited. So finally, he went back to the bank and he got yelled at by the bank clerk because they had to pay for his TV and he had to pay a fine of 15 euros. What were my connectors? Class, tell me, what were my connectors that I used? What were the 4 connectors I used?
First of all.
First of all, and then in box.
Then.
Then, in box number 3.
And
then, right? I don't know if I said and then or if I said after that, but you get the idea.
After that.
Okay, after that. In box number 4?
Finally.
Finally. Okay. Later on, I wonder if you could continue telling this story. So, Luo, let's start the story again. This is part 2 of the story. How would you describe box number 5? Same connectors now. Same connectors.
First of all, this man tried to write a check to a check which in the supermarket. After that.
Well, wait.
After
just
that.
Box number 1.
Yeah.
Just box number 1.
Box number 1.
Just only box number 1. So.
He trying to write a check to the check counter or checker.
Okay. So he's at the cash. He's at the cash register. He's at the register.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number 1. We need to say register. The person behind the register is a cashier. Repeat, cashier. Cashier.
Cashier.
No, but Luo,
Yeah.
are you there?
Cashier.
Yeah.
Cashier, yeah, cashier.
Next, we're telling the story, so we have to use only past tenses. Right? Only past tenses. Because you said he is trying. That's okay if you're describing it. But now let's tell it as a story. So, first, the man did what?
First, the man went to a supermarket, tried to bought some groceries.
And
Tried to buy some.
Yeah.
Tried to buy some groceries.
Right. How much were the groceries? Look closely at the screen. How much were the groceries?
Yeah. The total cost was $60.
Okay. So let me just make one correction. First of all, the man went to a grocery store or went to a supermarket and tried to buy some groceries by writing a check. By writing a check. Clear?
Yeah, by writing a
Okay,
check.
good. The groceries came to $60, let's say. Groceries came to $60.
Yeah, the groceries came to $60.
Okay. Maite, can you take box number 6? Remember our connectors. He said first, so you're going to say, Maite,
Yes.
you're going to say what to continue the story? What's our connector? He said first, you're going to say what?
Then
Then what happened?
then he wrote in a paper
He wrote a check.
a check
Good.
about $60 and 25
Cents.
cents.
Because this is dollars, not pounds. So we got to say cents. Pence is in pounds. Cents is in dollars. Okay, sounds good. I'm going to repeat that back to you and make a little correction. And I want you then to repeat it back to me. Are you ready?
Yes.
Then he wrote a check for the groceries, but he went over by 25 cents. Repeat that back to me.
Then he went to the groceries.
He wrote a check for
He wrote a check for
the groceries.
the groceries.
For the groceries.
For the groceries.
Good. But he went over by.
But
he went over by.
25
cents.
25 cents.
Luo, say the whole story what we have so far from 5 and 6. Don't forget the details. Ready? First.
Yes. First, this guy went to a supermarket trying to buy
Not trying, just
grocery.
to buy.
Yes, to buy groceries by write a check.
By writing.
By writing a check, almost $60.
Okay. And then keep going, Luo. And then?
And then he wrote a check, and it went over 60 went over by 25 cents.
Excellent. Very good. Okay. Luo and Maite. As Igor, who's there? It's Igor, isn't it?
Yes, Igor.
Okay, yeah, okay. As Igor tells the story, both of you are going to add an interest connector. You're going to respond to each part of the story that he tells. Okay, first Luo and then Maite. So Luo for box 5, Maite for box 6. Okay, are you ready, everyone?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay,
box.
Luo, you're going to describe box 7, but not describe it. You're going to tell the story. But you're going to repeat box 5 and 6 just the way you heard it before. Okay? Okay, you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
By the way, let me see if I can get this on screen a little bit better. Hold on. It's a little bit, I don't know if you can see the bottom. Can't quite get it all on screen. Okay, I'm going to have to leave it like that. Sorry. So, try to repeat it and try to remember the details that we just heard. I made a few corrections. I want you to include those corrections. Like, for example, went over by 25%. Wrote a check for groceries, those kind of things. Okay, and don't forget your connectors. Ready, Igor?
Okay. First of all, there was this guy who went to supermarket and bought some groceries. Then he went...
Wait, slow down. Luo, what's your reaction?
Is that true?
No. That's not our connector.
Oh, sounds interesting.
That's better. Okay. Oh, it's interesting.
What
Not
is
sounds
this about
interesting.
the guy
Not
who...
not sounds interesting. Just interesting.
Interesting.
You could also say how interesting.
How interesting.
It's just like Chinese. You have the word how in Chinese. How? How? What's how mean in Chinese? I forgot.
Good, good.
Yeah. That's right. Very good. How do you say very? How do you say very good?
非常好，非常好。
非常好. Ah. I'm forgetting the three words that I know. Oh, right. 你好. I forgot. Yeah. I'm forgetting my three words in Chinese that I know. Okay. Now that you know what to do, let's try it again. You're going to respond, Luo, to box 5. Maite, you're going to respond to box 6. Don't forget, your connectors are on the top if you want to see them on this document. Let's try it again. Igor, go for it.
So there was this guy who went to... first of all, there was this guy who went to a supermarket to buy some groceries.
Really?
Yeah.
And you say, really?
Really?
Really? No. You said it right, Luo. You said it right. You have to respond, Igor, by saying, really. You're confirming, really.
Yeah.
Good. Continue, Igor. Then?
After he had bought everything he needed, he went to the cash register, and the price added up to $16.
No.
60.
No. It came to.
Okay, it came to $60.
Good. So then what happened? So then
he continued.
He wrote?
He wrote a check and gave it to the cashier.
But it went over by?
But it went over by 25 cents.
Good. Maite?
Really? No.
Something else. Something else.
Did you?
Very good. Not did you, but did he? Because you're talking about the guy. Right, Maite?
Oh, yeah.
So say it again. Did he?
Did he?
And Igor,
oh, yeah, he did.
He did. Okay, Igor, box number 7. Now you've got to interpret what do you think happened in box number 7. And after that,
he got a call from his bank, and
he didn't get a call. Look, he's sitting there.
And he had to go there.
He got a call. Listen, Igor, he was called in to the bank. He was called in.
He was called into the bank, and so he did that. He went there, and the clerk was yelling at him because
the clerk was yelling, or the clerk yelled?
Yeah, the clerk yelled at him.
Yeah. And she drew a picture for him to understand what $60 meant.
Yeah, he made a mistake in his check, and he wrote 6 and 25 cents, but not 60 and 25 cents. So I think this was what the clerk was trying to explain to this unfortunate guy.
All right. You got to keep this story simple, or we're going to forget all the details, though. So let's summarize box 7. And after that, say it again, but keep it to one sentence. After that,
he went to his bank.
No. You forgot, Igor. After that,
he was called in by.
Yeah, good. He was called in.
Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And the clerk yelled at him for mistaking 6 and 60.
For mistaking the price, something like that. Okay, you could say more, but that's good enough. Okay, Maite, before we continue, let's look at box number 6. What do you think happened? Box number 8. What do you think happened in that box there?
Uh,
What do you think she's doing?
they are she is trying to explain the difference about figures.
Maybe, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. Hang on a second. I think I've got an. I think the story ends on the next page. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so 8, 9, and 10 are kind of related. So maybe we can finish our story with all of them. So, how do you think the story ends, Maite? Looking at 9 and 10,
Fine.
how do you think?
At the end, he understands the figures and
He
he
understand?
writes
Wait. He
he
understand or he understood?
he understood the figures and
Good.
he wrote in a exactly way,
He wrote the right amount.
the right amount.
Good. So, I'm making a lot of corrections, but I think what we ought to do is, at the end, we ought to write out the story so that you could practice it on your own. Because I'm making corrections like exactly for English doesn't translate exactly the right way. Exactly here would be, sorry, exactly doesn't translate the way you want it to. So you have to say right. Like,
Right.
yeah. So things
Thank
like
you.
that. Things like that. So I think we ought to write out the story so we can see it. So let's see if we can go back to box 5, Maite. And
Yeah.
this time, Igor, you're going to respond to box 5, and then Luo to box 6, and then Igor to box 7, and then Luo to box 8. And we're going to see if we can vary. I want you to try to use a different interest connector each time. Try not to say the same ones. Remember, you got these question tags as well as the interest connectors. Are we ready? Maite, you're going to be telling the story.
With the connectors
With the
first, no?
connectors, yeah. And by the way, you can always cheat because if you go to the table of contents and you click on 7, it takes you to page, I can't see the page. I don't know what page it is. Oh, I lost my page numbers. But anyway, it takes you to whatever page that is, and you'll see how to tell the story. And you've got those interest connectors as part 4 right here on your screen. So you can always go back to that page. I can't see the page numbers for some reason. But if you guys know, to tell me. Oh, it's just the page before. Oh, you can just scroll up to the page before. Look at that. Okay. So it's the page before today's class. All right, so let's go back to where we were. Are you ready, Maite?
I can start the story, no?
Yeah, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Take it away, Maite.
First of all, he
Let's say this guy. Let's say this guy.
this guy, first of all, this guy went to the groceries to buy some things.
Groceries.
Groceries.
How about this? He went to the supermarket
To the supermarket,
to buy some.
some groceries.
There you go. And it came to. And it came to.
He came to.
No. And it came to the price. It came to.
It came to 60 and 25 pence.
No, it didn't. Look at box number 5. What's the number in the cash register?
$60.
Exactly. It came to $60. Okay, say that again from the beginning, and then Igor, you're responding. Go ahead, Maite. One more time. First of all,
the guy
this
guy went to the supermarket to buy some groceries, and it came to $60.
How interesting. Go.
You can respond, I know. Maite, I know. He said, how
I
interesting. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it. Can you?
I know.
Good. Maite, then
he wrote a check
for the groceries.
from the groceries,
but it went over by
and it went over by 60 and
went over by
25 pence.
25. Went over by 25
Went over by 25 pence.
pence or cents.
Cents.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Say that again. And then
And then he went,
no, from the beginning. And then he wrote.
and then he wrote a check, and it went over by 25 cents.
Luo?
It's unbelievable.
Come on, that's not one of our connectors.
Was he? Was he?
That's true.
Did he?
Did he? Did he? Yeah.
And Maite, if he says did he, you have to reverse it. He did.
He did.
Perfect. See how this works? There's actually some rules. If he says did he, you say he did. You could say I know, he did. Really, he did. You could mix and match, but you have to say he did. Clear?
Really, he did.
Good. Maite, box 7.
Then he went to the bank again.
No, he was called in to the bank.
He was called
in.
Called in.
Called in means they called him on the phone and they told him that he had to come in person because they needed to speak with him. So called in is requested or demanded to come in. Called in.
Called in.
Yep. Okay, so now remember, you've already said then one time, Maite. So to keep saying then, you have to add and. So you can say either and then in box 7, or you could say after that. Either way is okay. So let's take it again in box 7.
After that, or afterwards, no?
Yeah, it's okay.
Afterwards, he called to the bank.
He was called in by the bank. It's passive voice. He was called in.
He was called in to the bank.
Yeah. And what happened? Why?
To ask for money.
No. He didn't ask for money. He didn't ask anything. Look at his face. He's not asking anything. What's the bank clerk doing?
He just
What's the bank clerk? What's the bank clerk doing to him?
60.
Yeah, what's she doing? She's reprimanding him. She's yelling at him. Clear?
Yes.
So he was called into the bank. Why? He was called into the bank because the bank clerk reprimanded him for overwriting the check or for going over again. Because this is the second time he wrote a check for too much. So he was reprimanded or yelled at for going over again. Clear?
Uh-huh. Then he asked, she said, you don't have this money. You can do it.
Igor, response?
That's just unbelievably stupid for.
No. Use a connector. Connector or a tag.
Really?
Maite?
Yes, he did.
No. He didn't say did he. He said really. So you have to say, if he says really, you have to have your voice go down. Really.
Really.
Yes, really. Good. Okay, Maite. Finish up the story with us using boxes 8 through 10. I don't know if I can put this on screen, all of them together. Let me see if I can do it. Maybe if I view this in the regular way, I can get this all on screen for you. Yeah, I can do it. Okay. So look at 8 through 10 and finish the story for us, okay?
Me?
Yeah, you finish the story.
Then she, the bank assistant, tried to explain
To the guy?
to the guy the figures.
Yeah, the figures or the difference between the difference
6
between
and 60.
exactly 60, 40, 70. Okay. Finally, How does the story end? Finally,
And finally, he bought something, and he wrote in the right amount on the check.
good. Finally, he bought, looks like a shirt. Finally, he bought. The next time, maybe we could say finally, the next time he went shopping, he wrote a check for the right amount. And that was the end of our story. Luo responds?
And?
More? There's nothing more.
Yeah, I think it's enough.
All right. So if you want to say something more than that, maybe we can add it's kind of like saying interesting, but more than interesting is amazing.
Amazing.
Or who knew? Amazing. Who knew? How about this one? You
Lucky guy.
don't say. So these are all connectors because they don't mean anything in themselves. They're just things you could say at the end. Who knew? Like, who would believe it? You don't say. That means I can't believe it. You don't say. I can't believe what you're saying to me. All right. So our story went like this. Tell me if I've got this right or wrong. I'm going to try to write it out because I want you to practice it. Then I'm going to turn it over to you to tell an anecdote of your own. So we said, first, this guy, what did he do?
Went to a supermarket.
Went to the supermarket. Keep going. Tell me more.
And bought some groceries.
Okay.
It came to
I'm going to
60.
say to buy. Instead of bought, I'm going to say to buy because he went. We already have our verb in the sentence. We don't need more verbs. We can't conjugate the rest of the verbs. They have to be in the infinitive. So first, this guy went, there's our verb, to the supermarket. To buy, that shows the purpose of why he went. To buy some groceries. And Luo, what were you saying then? But
It came to $60.
all right, it should be an and. Sorry, and it came to $60 even. Why do you think I said even there?
Even means it's too much.
No. It means it's the exact amount. Even. $60 even. Not 61, not 59, not $60.25. Even means the exact amount. Clear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, clear.
Good. Then in the second box, in box number 6, he did what? He wrote.
Then he wrote a check, but it went over 25 cents.
Good. He wrote a check for the groceries, but it went over by
25 cents.
right 25 cents. Okay, very good. After that, I'm going to use after that instead of afterwards, because if I say afterwards, it sounds like I'm talking about time. I'm not talking about time here. I'm talking about sequence. So afterwards is not wrong, but it's going to sound a lot better, more natural to say after that. By the way, is Luo the only one in the classroom? What about the rest of you? I don't hear anything.
I'm here.
Okay, so Igor and Maite, after that, in box number 7,
He was called in to.
right. He was. Why? How come I can't see the whole thing on the screen? I got to make this a little bit smaller. Sorry, there. He was called in to the bank because
he had mistaken the price.
because he had, I'm going to say he had, instead of mistaken, let's say he had gone, whoops, gone over the limit, can't write and speak, the limit again. The bank clerk,
Yelled at him.
yeah, okay, yelled at him. Yelled at him because it was the second time. Okay. And then,
And then she tried.
okay, then, yeah,
And then she showed himself how to write numbers correctly.
she showed him how to write.
Showed.
Oh, yeah, you're right. She showed him how to write numbers correctly so that he could, so that he could do, I can't write, do it himself. Finally,
The guy seems a little bit stupid.
he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, that's for sure. Finally,
The next time he went shopping.
Next time he went shopping, what happened?
He didn't. He wrote a check correctly.
He wrote, I'm going to say he wrote out the right amount. Okay, let's go back and add our, I'm going to put the connectors in bold for you to pay attention to the connectors. These are our connectors to help you the next time you tell a story. Okay. After that, she showed him finally. Okay. And now let's do one more thing. Let's add our responses here. I'm going to put the responses in parentheses. Maite, I want you to take the first line, and I'll get a response from someone else. Maite, read the first line again.
Really?
No, sorry, read the first line. First?
Yeah. First, this guy went to the supermarket to buy some groceries, and it came to $60 even.
Okay. Luo, how would you react?
Go on.
Go on. Okay. And Maite, if he says go on, what do you think you would say?
Oh, of course.
Of course, sure. Whatever you want. Sure. Well, ... So I'm going to just put it like this to see the two answers. Go on. Sure. Well, then, why don't you continue, Igor? Then
he wrote check for the groceries, but it went over by 25 cents.
Maite, reaction?
Really?
Really? Question. Really? Raise your voice. Really?
Really?
And Igor?
Really.
Good. You have to fall. Really. Okay. Now we can add another connector here. We can say so after that. Notice I added a well and I added a so. Because if you're responding, it makes sense to link it back to the story. So is a good way to link it back that you're about to continue. So after that, Luo. So after that.
He was called into the bank because he had gone over the limit again. The bank clerk
In fact,
the bank clerk yelled at him because it was the second time.
That's absolutely okay. Igor, what's our response here? Now, this is incredible, right? So what could you say?
Did she?
Did she?
She did.
You would say, Luo, you say, yep.
She did.
She did. Notice I said yup. You know what yup is?
Yep, is yes.
Yes, but it sounds like an American. Yup, she did. Okay? And Maite, continue. Yup, she did. And then?
And then she showed him how to write numbers correctly so that he could do it himself.
Luo?
Oh, that's fine.
No. Try again.
Keep going. Keep going.
Let's go look at some of our choices here. Look at some of our choices. And okay, good, fine. That one works. And what happened? Now, if he says and, what do you think you're going to say before you say finally? Igor, what do you think you would say to that? And you would say what?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Just continue.
Two choices. You could say nothing, or you could say, again, well, because that signals that you're going to keep speaking. Let's go with well. Keep going, Igor. Well?
Well, finally, the next time he went shopping, he wrote out the right amount.
Very good. And Maite, what's the last connector you're going to use? Because this story is absolutely incredible. I'd pick one of these. I'd pick one of these if I were you.
Amazing, very amazing.
let's do two. Amazing, and also you.
You don't say.
Exactly. You don't say. Okay. And Luo, what's your reaction to you don't say?
And you don't say. That's true.
Yeah. You'd say, no, it's true. Whoops. Now you have a story to practice of your own. And you've got all the interest connectors there. Okay, now that you know how to tell a story, I want you to tell a story of your own. Forget about this story. I want to hear your story. So I want you to think of an anecdote. It could be something amazing, or it could be something, hey, look at this. We've got Obaid. I didn't even see you come in. Hi, Obaid. You're very quiet. Did you just arrive? Did he just come in now? I didn't see him before.
Yes, he just arrived.
Hello, Obaid. Don't forget to say hello. So, I want to hear your story. Igor, you tell me about your cat. Luo, you tell me about how to use the word... Oh, Obaid left. I scared him. I said hello and he left. Obaid, I'm sorry. Luo, you tell me about an anecdote about using how in Chinese.
First of all...
You don't have to tell me that. You tell me whatever story you want.
Okay.
There's one rule. One rule. At each point in the story, after you use a connector, you tell that part of the story, you wait for the next person to respond. That's the only rule. Okay?
Okay. First of all, one friend of mine went to a supermarket, tried to buy some groceries.
Did he?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Then he tried to pay with his credit card. But his credit card was over the limit.
Maite, respond.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true. Well.
Wait, Maite, I don't know if you could say sure here. It doesn't sound natural. You could say really. You could say something else. Sure sounds more like what Luo would say to respond to your reaction.
Really?
Really, Luo?
Yeah, that's true. After that, he was called into the bank, and the bank clerk smiled to her to ask her to charge more cash into his account to make he has a more limitation with his credit card.
So the bank clerk asked him to deposit more money?
Deposit more money.
Deposit.
deposit more money in his credit card.
Oh, Igor?
Yeah.
Igor? Igor?
Whoa, what?
Response?
What did Igor say?
I don't know.
What did you say?
Igor, what did you say?
What?
Respond, Igor. Show interest.
Really?
Again? Oh, come on. We already said really. A different one. A different one.
Definitely,
Go on.
definitely true.
Go on. He said go on.
Go on.
So you have to
well.
say, well, good.
Oh, well, and
Finally?
yeah, finally he charged the amount into deposits enough amount into his bank account, and he went to the grocery again, and he bought lots of things. Then back to home with pleasure.
Maite, what's your final response?
Amazing. You don't say.
Yeah. I think so.
True. It's true. It is amazing. Very good. Very good. We got time for one more anecdote. Who wants it? Who wants it? We've got time for one more. If we're fast, we've got time for one more. Who wants it? No one? Igor? Maite? No? Anecdote means story. We got time for one more story. No? Okay. Then listen to mine. First of all, I was outside watering the plants.
Really?
Really? And then...
Why you do that?
Don't ask me questions. Just respond.
Okay.
Well, it's not a real conversation. It's a practice conversation.
Oh, okay.
If you say why, I have to think of a reason. I don't know why I was doing that. And then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a guy in a blue shirt and a hat coming toward me, and I didn't. There's my story. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a guy dressed in blue with a blue shirt and a blue hat coming toward me, and he was holding a stick.
Go on.
Wow.
That's interesting. Interesting.
It is, right? So I turned around and saw that it was a police officer, and I ducked behind the plant that I was watering. I've got big plants. I ducked behind it.
Did you?
I did. When I got up, afraid for my life, thinking I was going to be arrested, I saw that he had already gone because he was chasing someone down the street.
Had it.
What?
Amazing.
Had it.
What did you say, Igor?
Had he left? Had he?
Oh, had he? Oh, I see. Yes, he had. So, in the end, don't be afraid of the police. That's my story. Pretty good since I just made it up, huh?
Yeah.
I think all of you could tell a much better story. I think so. I have a feeling. Okay, so we're going to have to stop there. I'm going to begin the business class in just a minute. We're going to stop now. It would be great if you could tell a story of your own and bring it to the next class. You could also, if you like, record the story and send it to me to correct. You could record it. You could write it as well, but it's good to hear your pronunciation. So if you want to record it, send me the recording by sending me a link through the chat window in Verbling. Not the chat window, but the message service, and I'll correct it for you. Otherwise, bring it to the next class, which will be, of course, next week at the same time. Yeah, next week at the same time. All right, so very good job, everyone. Don't forget about your connectors, and that's all I've got to say for now. So come back in a minute for the next part of being successful in how to get results in business. Bye for now, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. See
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you.